Hey, what's up, you guys? Back again with another video. A couple of videos ago, well, yesterday, I uploaded one on Dr. Ogriofa. If you haven't seen that, take a look at it. It's a pretty short video, I think maybe 5 minutes. But it was real interesting, and I said I was going to get back to you guys about who this guy is, why it's a little bit shady that here in Vegas, he's quote unquote running a new homeless shelter in the convention center downtown. Okay, so check that video out. In it, I explained that I did a little digging, and he's not just a nice little doctor that's volunteering to help. Okay, he worked for NASA, military, special ops, and here's the nitty gritty of all of it. Okay, so here's a little bit here. I said he had worked for NASA, involved in something called Project Nemo 21. You can read all kinds of things about it. I'll show you a little clip on a video. But I just wanted to show you again who this Dr. Ogriofa is, who is roping off the convention center, tenting all the homeless, yet no one is allowed in. You can call over there if you want. They won't give you much information. They're turning away homeless people. The only people allowed in that area now is only hospital transfers of people who have this coronavirus issue. All right. So anyway, let me show you this. Dr. Ogriofa, again, some credentials. He has a PhD in biomedical engineering. He will live some 20 meters under the Atlantic Ocean as part of the NASA Extreme Environment Mission Operations NEMO project. So this isn't a dumb guy. Obviously, he's highly intelligent, very smart, not smart enough to put his mask on correctly for his little interview, but that's besides the point. Anyway, this project was in 2016. Okay, it's been going on for, I think, over a decade, though. All right, so this is what this article is from during his time. So Dr. O'Keefe, which is another Irish physician that is joining him, holds dual biomedical engineering and medical qualifications and an expert in remote monitoring technology. Interesting. With experience in prior spaceflight and extreme environment missions. This is where it gets even more interesting. He will oversee the physiological parameters of the 6 participants, these quote-unquote astronauts when they did this NEMO project, and will run several staged health emergency events to help develop protocols on crisis response in remote conditions. Remote like desert, maybe? Like here in Vegas? And again, you guys, I'm not a moron, okay? I said before, in nursing, I know people are sick. People's lungs are collapsing. God bless them. Like, I pray for them daily, the people who are actually getting very ill and passing away. So if anyone comes across this video and thinks that I'm just saying this is all fake and nobody's sick, that is not what I'm saying at all. Okay, all I'm saying is things are staged and set up to portray a specific narrative to the general public. And I disagree. And I think everyone should ask questions and everyone should look into the things that are happening. All right. Let's see. NASA is also carrying out similar missions in other extreme environments, such as deserts, ice fields, and volcanoes around the world. So they've been working on this for a while. All right. Now, let me show you specifically, what Project Nemo is in the director's own words here. Sorry. Okay. Oh, crap. Hold on, guys. Here we go. Sorry about that. Very interesting.
My name is Bill Todd, and I'm the program manager for NEMO. NEMO is the NASA Extreme Environment Mission Operations, and it is a team of people to the field, in this case to an undersea habitat, to execute a mission with an astronaut crew about once a year, where we go through some very detailed and complex procedures to perform a space analog mission in an environment that we try to make as space-like as possible. The habitat itself is located in Key Largo, Florida.
Interesting choice for a doctor.
62 feet of seawater.
For Vegas,
the hatch depth itself, or the depth that you go in and out of the water, is at 48 feet. It's located on Conch Reef, which is about 4 miles or so off of Tavernier, Florida. It's really in a neat place because there's a lot of beautiful coral all around the habitat. And as you go to the east, it gets deeper and deeper, and it goes down to about 100, 110 feet. And there's quite a diversity of the fish life and the coral and the flora and fauna. It's just a wonderful place for marine science and research. But it also has a lot of flat, open, sandy places where we can do all of our NASA work, whether we're walking on the seafloor or we're building an undersea lander, moon lander, or working on exploration traverses. It's a great place for us to be able to figure all that out and work in this environment. The whole point was to find a place in the world, which just so happened to be an undersea habitat, where we could come and we could work and we could build these missions based primarily for astronaut training. As time went on, over the next 10 years, the missions became more and more complex. We added engineering testing and operational testing and biomedical research.
Dr. Ogrifa.
All different types of science, so that we could make the missions here at Aquarius more and more space-like and more of a mission for the crew.
Yeah,
now
I bet.
They've evolved to the point that they're extremely complex and very, very space-like, and a lot of the crew come away going, you know, this feels just like a space mission. It's the closest thing that I know of to flying in space.
Wow. So, there you have that. All right, guys. So, here is Dr. Mark right now. Let him explain to you in his own words some of the stuff he was working on with Project Nemo a few years ago. A fluid monitor. And as you might recall, a lot of this coronavirus that everyone knows is affecting the lungs, right? They claim a lot of it is pulmonary edema, okay, swelling in the lungs, or pneumonia, fluid in the lungs, right? Or they say it's pneumonia, but there is no fluid. It's like their lungs are just kind of shrinking up. They're not getting enough oxygen, and they don't know how to test it properly, and they don't know what to do. But check out this really detailed engineering that they created to check for fluid and stuff. You'd think they'd be pushing it in all the hospitals, right? Or at least Dr. Douche here could have it over at his little makeshift military base at the convention center and be checking on all of the homeless people with it, right? Let's just see what he has to say what this is.
My name is Dr. Mark Riva.
Sorry, it's not very loud.
Technology officer for non-invasive medical technologies. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be deploying the Zoe fluid monitor as part of the NASA NEMO 21st mission down off the coast of Key Largo. The Zoe fluid monitor is a bioimpedance monitor. It uses a technique called base impedance to measure the fluid status or hydration status of patients, or in this case, astronauts, as part of the NEMO mission. The technology works by applying a small current to the body. We have a known voltage, and then we measure the resistance or impedance to actually go and detect changes of fluid status. And effectively, the way it works is the higher the number, the drier the patient. The lower the number, the wetter the patient.
Wait. So you're telling me, Doc, that he makes me ashamed that I'm Irish. I just can't believe this, you guys. This technology is fantastic, to say the least. He's saying that you can literally put it on somebody and it will send a signal letting them know how much fluid is in the lungs, how much less fluid is in the lungs if they have any treatment. You'd think they'd be deploying this on every patient that is having issues with this virus, right? So they can create shit like this. And underwater bases simulating what they say is like Mars, but they can't figure out how in the actual fuck to treat the people with this, right? Honestly.
The NEMO mission takes place on board the Aquarius Undersea Laboratory, which is the world's only underwater research station. We're sending a group of 6 astronauts, researchers, and crew members to live and work underwater for 8 days. I'll be down for 8 days. Some of the astronauts will be down for 2 weeks. And the whole concept of this mission is to be able to test new techniques, new procedures, technologies for future spaceflight missions, going back to the moon, possibly an asteroid, or maybe someday going to Mars. We're going to be using the Zoe fluid monitor to monitor the fluid status and hydration levels of each of the aquanauts twice a day. What this will allow us to do is give us some kind of feedback in relation to helping to optimize their fluid status and then feeding that into how does that affect their performance. One of the key components of this is we can use technology development and opportunities like this in relation to working with NASA and the astronauts and then apply those lessons learned
to your lab
in
rats.
this technology for domestic medical patients.
Look at that.
Technology for how we monitor home healthcare patients, heart failure patients, patients undergoing dialysis.
Home health.
The key components of
Retirement people that are dying.
is that it provides a portable, objective, ergonomic, and repeatable index for fluid status that allows us to provide a predictive index for fluid. This is so important because so many of these patients end up back in the hospital as a result of fluid overload. This allows us to provide a predictive index that will anticipate in advance before that fluid overload actually becomes a
Exactly.
that helps us keep them out of the hospital, improve their quality of life, and decrease these unnecessary readmissions into hospitals.
Yes, Doc. So why the fuck are we not doing that now? What's going on with all this? People are on ventilators and yada, yada, yada. We couldn't stop. I heard people say that they have loved ones whose physicians told them that their lungs were so full of fluid and there was no way to predict it. There was no way to know if they were going to die or survive. This bastard is literally saying that back in 2016, when he made this video, you guys can look it up on YouTube if you want, go back and listen to it. The extreme thought and intelligence that went into creating these type of devices. And then take a look at what is happening. And they picked this man, okay, who worked with NASA and Project Nemo with aquanauts on the only base off the coast of Florida that has this in the entire world. They chose him to come and assist here in Vegas with the homeless population, just to help at an outside tented convention center. No, not shady at all. Nope. All right, guys. And lastly, just for this video, I'm already up 13 minutes. Sorry about that. Lastly, I just wanted to show you about immersion pulmonary edema. Okay, pulmonary is the lungs, edema is swelling, immersion is immersion. So this is basically what can happen when divers are deep diving, like he was saying, the aquanauts. This is what happens when they get immersion pulmonary edema, okay? Or they ascend to the surface too quickly and their lungs basically do not work on them, all right? So let's read it. Immersion pulmonary edema, IPE, is a form of pulmonary edema, an accumulation of fluid in the tissues of the lungs that specifically affects divers and swimmers. Immersion at depth is a key factor in the development of IPE. That's because immersion is an upright position, causes a significant shift of fluid from the peripheral to the central circulatory system, okay, your blood vessels, resulting in higher pressure in the capillaries of the pulmonary system. Elements of the diving that contribute to IPE's occurrence include the fact that divers breathe gases that are denser. All right, let me scroll down a little bit and show you what I wanted to show you here. Maintaining proper fluid balance in your lung tissue and its vasculature requires a dynamic combination of various opposing forces. Unopposed changes in any of these forces can result in a buildup of excess fluid or edema, remember that's swelling, in your pulmonary tissues. The main variables involved in regulating the balance are the oncotic pressure, okay, that's the pressure that's exerted by all the proteins in your body, also the fluid in the cavities in your lungs, okay, and there's some other ones there. But what I wanted to let you know is coronavirus, okay, the pulmonary edema also causes something called ARDS, okay? And this is what I found here. What type of damage can coronavirus cause in the lungs? COVID-19, the disease caused by the new coronavirus, quote unquote, can cause lung complications such as pneumonia and in severe cases, acute respiratory distress syndrome, or ARDS. This is what they're saying. Okay, this is what happens with divers. This is what happens with the coronavirus people, right? ARDS, sepsis, which is also happening, they're saying, with coronavirus patients. And other possible complications of COVID-19 can also cause lasting harm. They're also saying, like I said before, COVID pneumonia, the lungs become filled with fluid and inflamed. Oh, wait, but Dr. Mark, don't you have the predictor for that? Don't you have that special little gadget you made 4 years ago? Interesting. For some people, breathing problems can become severe enough to require treatment at the hospital with oxygen or even a ventilator. The pneumonia that COVID-19 causes tends to take hold in both lungs. Air sacs in the lungs fill with fluid, limiting their ability to take in oxygen and causing shortness of breath and other symptoms. So again, this whole thing is such bullshit. And I don't understand how all of this can be a coincidence. Okay, that they just handpicked this guy to come out here and help the homeless. Yet people who are homeless who show up in that area are being turned away. If they show up and they're hungry or they're sick or anything, if they just say, hey, I want to see the doctor and I'm homeless, I heard you guys are helping, they're literally getting turned away. Okay, I've heard this from several people. I saw it myself when I tried to drive around there. The security guard refused to answer questions, and I only was able to dig into this because as I made another round in my video, if you go back and look, I'm across the street trying to tape them, and out come a group of military. So that's what got me digging even further. Okay. Also, oh yeah, let me show you this. Really quickly. Oh, sorry. Horrible picture. Ugh, I suck at this, guys. I'm sorry. He was an Irish doctor, like I told you. And what I found interesting is a lot of people talk about the 5G and the symptoms it causes as well. Would you look at this? Ireland was one of the first places to ever start establishing this. And this article I found, irishtimes.com, 3 delays 5G rollout until next year. So this is dated November 29th, 2019. Right around the time the virus began, right? Mobile operator promises substantial launch of high-speed 5G services in 2020. I guess just another coincidence that this is close to the town that Dr. Mark, is from. So with that, guys, I'll leave you to your own imagination and thoughts. I'd love to hear some feedback on all this crap. Oh, I also found another physician that has been giving interviews that is not only involved with government, but specifically FEMA. So watch out for that. Talk to you guys soon.